Oh! ILANA PEÑA's a genius. And that's the end of the video. Hi, my name is Julian Montgomery, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're one of my subscribers. I just passed 50 of them, thank you very much. Are you a Diary of a Future President fan? Good, cause me too. You should think about subscribing to my channel. Why? Because I am reviewing this series episode by episode as the episodes air, weekly episodes. I'm currently filming this on a Monday. I can't speak. I am currently filming this on a Monday night because when I watched the show on Thursday night, or very early Friday morning, if you're one of those idiots that thinks that the next day starts anytime before 5 a.m., I watched it and then I tried to review it and words weren't coming out and I wasn't able to get my thoughts out correctly, so I postponed it to review it the next day, got pushed to the next night, and then I fell asleep before I could film it the next 3 nights. The next 3 nights. So here we are, on a Monday night, reviewing Friday's episode. But, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm drinking coffee at 1:30 in the morning. How healthy can I be? I don't know. I'm responsible with my sleeping schedule. Anyways, let's actually review the thing because that's what you came here to watch. I loved episode 5. I loved all of it. I still think I like episode 4 a little better, but I loved episode 5. I honestly think it's the most heartfelt yet. I've explained this before. This show has a big, huge heart. Big, huge. Big, gigantic. Ginormous! Gargantuan heart. That's its strongest suit to me, is its constant portrayal of heartfelt messages and its heartfelt characters and their heartfelt growth. I just love how heartwarming this show is. If you're looking for a feel-good show that isn't substanceless, so like not like Hallmark feel-good, you know, watch this show because this is what this show is. It's a feel-good show, but it has interesting characters and interesting relationships and an interesting story. Please watch this show. Episode 5 made me realize just how expertly this show has been crafted. First of all, it's a brilliant idea. I don't know if it was based on something or not, but the idea of looking into the head of a young girl who 25 years later becomes president, that's great. I love that idea. And then the way it's being executed so far, how it's slowly building its relationships and its characters, I think is fantastic. It gives us time to appreciate every beat. And appreciate every beat I do. Episode 4 brought us the growth of, I forget his name, but Elena's mom's boyfriend. Yeah, I think his growth in that episode made me really admire him and appreciate him a lot more as a character. And I think it really strengthened his relationship with, Elena's mom. This episode, I think we got to focus a lot more on Bobby and his friends and Elena and her mom. And I think the way this episode did it was so good. It was so good. Let's talk about Bobby and his friends. Up until now, I think they've just been the friend group who we're just supposed to assume like each other and care for each other. I think this episode finally proved what they do for each other. That court scene, by the way, this will have spoilers in it from here on out if you don't want that. That court scene where they put the little worms above their letters. That was so cute. That was so heartfelt. That was easily the cheesiest this show has gotten, but it was like the best type of cheesy, you know? Like a wholesome, happy cheesy, and I'm totally okay with it. Speaking of that court scene, Bobby's enemy, what was he doing when he came out onto the court? Like, I was honestly a little creeped out, I'm not gonna lie, both times I watched this episode. What was he doing? Also, is it bad I kind of ship him and Bobby? What? Bobby gay. And then Elena and her mom, watching them interact together this episode was really fun. Of course, they've been really close this entire show, but I think this is the closest they've been, or at least the closest I've felt they've been. And it was really, really nice to see. That entire first feast scene where they were celebrating Elena's womanhood, that was so heartfeltly executed. Heartfeltly, that's a new word. Is it though? Did I just make that up? Or is that actually like a dictionary word? I don't know, I'm getting distracted again. That scene was so heartfelt. I loved it. Oh my gosh. Just a short little audio interlude. If you took a drink every time I mentioned that this show was heartfelt in this video, you would be so drunk. This episode really made me care a lot more for their bond and for Bobby's bond with his friends. But the relationships and how they were built on were not my favorite aspects of this episode. No, my favorite aspect of this episode was the message and the topic that it tried to tackle, because holy crap, it hit it on the head! My voice just cracked like 5,000 times. Have I actually gone through puberty? I'm not sure. In case you're not aware, I will just fill you in really quickly. This episode, ILANA finds out that the guy that her school mascot is based on was actually a big butt. He abused women and stuff. So, of course, being the bad butt feminist that she is, she wants to enact change. She wants to get her school mascot changed. But when she finds out that this will take a very long time, she goes to drastic measures and does something bad and must suffer the consequences. The way that this episode tackled the topic that true change takes time. Ooh! I loved it! I almost cried during Elena's final monologue both times I watched this episode. Like, I didn't cry, but I thought about it. I was close. I was close enough. It's such a good topic, and such a presidential topic, may I add. Like, it's perfect for this show. Speaking of, it is so fun to see ILANA slowly but surely exhibit more and more presidential tendencies, the tendencies of a politician, and it's expertly woven into the show and the idea of someone coming of age. It doesn't feel forced. The presidential aspects of the show don't feel forced. They feel extremely natural and extremely true to the idea of a coming of age story, because that's ultimately what this is. I've seen multiple people online criticize this show for its political agenda. They're the ones with the agenda. This show is a coming of age story, and I think it's a fantastic one at that. Each episode, I get more invested in these characters and more invested in these relationships, and I think this show's pacing so far has been fantastic, and I am so excited to see what comes next. Once again, if you're not watching Diary of a Future President yet, do it! Do it! Friggin' do it!
I think we can all agree I didn't need that coffee.
Do it.
And if you'd like, oh, that's wet. And if you'd like to see me review the rest of the show, episode by episode, as the episodes air weekly episodes, please do subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, once again, leave your thoughts on the episode below. I'd love to read what you thought of episode 5. Anyways, I should not have drinking this coffee, but it tastes so good. Anyways, bye. Oh, and Bobby K.